friends, my name is Dr. Jyoti Prakash, Assistant Professor, Department of Management, School of Management Sciences, Lucknow. Now, today's topic of discussion is role of CRM in service industry. As you students are very much aware about the concept of CRM. CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. As the overall marketing efforts is concerned towards satisfying the customer and maintaining a good relationship with them, so that the firm can go longer time period with that organization and helps the organization in fetching more and more profit by purchasing the offered product or service. So, it is very required from us companies or from a marketer point of view that they just focus on this particular aspect. So, in this particular subject of service marketing, we will also understand the important role played by CRM concept, and that help the company in achieving or in fulfilling the objective that the company is carrying. So, just start the class. In introduction, the things for justification or the things of introductory things of CRM is like CRM concept was basically came into existence in early 1990s, and the process basically CRM includes process of collecting customer data, analyzing the data to make decision which helps the companies to acquiring new customers and as well as satisfying the existing one. Means it is one of the practices adopted by the company in order to acquire new customer base and also to satisfy or to keep a healthy relationship with the existing ones, so that they just feel that the organization is understanding their requirements too, and time to time they are also providing us updated information about the services. So, that they just continued their behaviors towards the service firm. And as per Philip Kotler and Gary Armstrong, CRM is all about managing or having a detailed information about each and every individual customer and all the customer contact points or touch points, so that the company just do or just company adopt good practices in order to maximize the level of satisfaction of the customer as well as make them loyal towards the service firm. And what can be the benefit of satisfaction and what can be the benefit of loyalty, we all know very much this particular fact. So, that is why Philip Kotler and Gary Armstrong has defined customer relationship management as a process or as a concept which can be adopted or which is adopted by the company or the service firm in order to acquiring customers as well as maintaining their details or their touch points, their contact points, so that they contact or they interact the customer at each and every point and make them available to sufficient or adequate information. So, their satisfaction level can be met out, their expectation level can be met out, and they just convert it into the loyal customer of that service firm. It can also be defined as a combination of strategy, the processes and technology that can be used or that is used by the company or the service firm in order to manage the customer and all the customer department and all the departments of the firm, so that they are just meeting out, they just meet out the expectation of the customer. CRM also helps in providing better services to customer and developing effective customer relationship. How is it possible? In the later slide we will understand this particular fact, that why CRM helps in maintaining and how CRM helps in maintaining a good relationship with customers, and how they will help the customers at all the touch points for meeting out the expectation or for resolving the queries of theirs. So, they are just representing in front of the service firm. So, in totality we can understand the concept of CRM is what a process, a strategy, or basically we can say that a concept used by the service firm in order to acquire a new customer base and to retain them with the good practices, so that the customers become satisfied and they can be associated with the firm for a longer time period. So, if the company is adopting CRM, so obviously CRM plays important role in fulfilling the expectation or in fulfilling the objective of the company. So, what can be the important role played by CRM? So, these are the points which somehow justify the importance of CRM, like better services to customer. Obviously, because CRM helps in maintaining database of each and every individual customer. So, accordingly their individual need and expectation can be fulfilled by having a record of their expectation and their need. So, CRM basically helps better services to the customer, because the firm is understanding the requirement or the expectation of each and every individual customer, and the new one and the existing one. So, obviously according to that, the firm is able to deliver the better service or the expected service to the customer. Because the CRM is having a record of each and every individual customer. So, as per their expectation, the offerings or the services that they are offer, that can be customized, means as per the requirement of the individual customer, the services can basically vary, and services can be provided as per the expectation of the individual one. As the firms are able to understand the individual requirement or the requirement of individual customer. So, somehow it will help in reducing the defection rate, means it will obviously perform as per the expectation of the customer. So, somehow it will help in reducing the defection rate in the overall experience of the customer. So, any failure or any gap will not arise, because CRM makes available the complete data or the database about the expectation of the customers. By having a record or by updating the record of the each and every individual customer, the firm is also improving or increasing the long term relationship with the customer, because if I am a customer, I have certain requirement and expectation associated with the firm. So, in future time, in coming time, I will be able to avail that much of or that expected service from the service firm. So, by knowing this fact, the firm can make available that level of expectation or meet up that level of expectation. So, obviously by doing so, the firm is able to increase the relationship or improvement in the relationship with the customer. And if the firm is understanding the requirement of each and every individual customer, and accordingly they are providing or meeting up the expectation of them. So, obviously they are trying to increase the increase in customer equity, means the reputation of we can say that the practices of repeating the behavior of the customer throughout the life cycle of that customer, that help CRM help in this particular concept too. And if the company has adopted good CRM or customer relationship practices, so obviously it will be it will prove like a competitive advantages among the pool of or alternatives or pool of competitors. So, if you are being a service firm, if you are adopting a good human resource or good customer relationship practices, so obviously it will be a competitive advantage for you, that you are winning, somehow able to win the race of the competition. And if you are doing so, if you are giving so much attention of individual customers expectations, so customer will obviously be satisfied and spread positive word of mouth or positive information about your services. So, this will help you out in building and maintaining your goodwill or the reputation or the image in the market or among the customer group. And if customers are satisfied and customer become loyal, obviously it will help you out in maximizing your return on investment, means whatever the investment you have invested in a particular course of action, CRM basically help you out in making return of that investment in higher rate or in higher proportional. So, somehow these are the important role played by CRM. So, firms are basically using this particular concept in fulfilling the objective. Obviously, the objective is like higher return on investment, whatever the investment that the company has incurred in experiencing or in making available the service to the customer. By using this particular concept or by adopting the practices of customer relationship management, the firm is somehow able to get back the return return from that investment that the company has done in this particular concept. So, these are the important role played by CRM. So, if the company is adopting the practices of CRM, so what are the phases, what are the steps that can be followed by the firm in order to maintain relationship with customers. So, these are basically the phases, or we can say the steps that can be followed by the service firm in order to maintain or in order to satisfy and the customer and to make them loyal. Like the first one is acquire, the second one is enhance, the third one is retain. The first one is acquire. Acquire is all about, like acquire is all about the first important step in establishing business relationship. Acquiring is all about to bringing the customer into the organization, bring the new customers to the organization. Obviously, if the customer will not come to your firm, being a service firm, so overall your strategy will go in vain. So, firstly your objective should be like to acquiring the customer into your organization. So, if they will come, then you are able to practice your customer relationship strategy, or you can use your customer relationship practices on them in order to maintain a good relationship with the customers, with the acquired customer. So, the first step is what? Acquiring the customer from the market. And how it is possible? With the help of CRM software tools and database, because in the earlier I have told you that CRM helps in maintaining a database of the customer, so that accordingly you can fetch the requirement of the customers at any time period or at any in any condition in fact. So, how it is possible? With the help of available CRM tools and database, the company is basically able to acquire new customers into the organization with the help of the representative, with the help of the promotional tool, with the help of the elements of promotional tools. Somehow the company is able to bring the customer into the organization, and in this particular stage basically the company also fetch the information about the need and the requirement and the expectation of the customer, so that accordingly they can promise and they can just influence them in order to avail the offered service. So, that is all about acquiring. In totality we can understand what is the step or what is the meaning of acquiring. Acquiring is all about the first step of CRM management, customer relationship management. In this particular step basically the company bring back the new customer base into the company. And how it is possible? Because the company is having a database and the software which keeps the record of your prospects or your target customers, so that accordingly you can use the effective or the suitable promotion mix in order to give information about the offerings that you are offering that you are going to offer to the customers, and that if their expectation will match up your message, whatever you are delivering to them, they obviously they will be influenced for purchasing the offerings or the services that you are that you have made available to them. So, that is all about acquire. The second one is enhance. Enhance is it is the second step or second stage of customer relationship management. In this stage basically CRM helps in keeping a customer happy by supporting superior services from a responsive network team of sales and basically the representative and the employees of the firm. And in this particular step the company in the first step basically the company has acquired the customer, but in the second stage the company basically try to enhance and enhance the buying behavior or the repetition behavior of the customer, so that the customer will come again and again in order to avail and experience the service that the firm is offering to them. And if they are doing so, obviously that will help in maintaining a good relationship, and that is also trying a trust factor among the customer group. So that in this particular step, the company basically tries to influence the buying behavior of the customer in such a way, so that they can just follow up their step into the service firm again and again. And the third one is retain. Obviously, in the second phase, you are just trying to influence the behavior of your created customer, and from time to time you are adopting good customer relationship practices, and you are trying to maintain good relationship with them, but you cannot ensure that your customer will be retained for a longer time period because of the level of competition and because of the competitors available in the same section, or because of the availability of the competitors in the market. It may happen that your competitors may offer the service at as per the expectation of the customer. So, your customer base may switch their behavior to your competitors or to some other firm. So, it is very required, or it is very essential for you as a service firm that whatever the customer base or whatever the customer you have created for making available the service, you just adopt such practices so that your customer base will be retained for a longer time period. And if they will be retained, and if they will be associated with your service firm, what can be the advantages? You just you cannot guess out what can be the advantages and what can be the consequences, positive consequences that you will fetch from that. Obviously, they will they are repeating their behaviors towards your service firm, that will help you out in earning profit and maximizing the profit. They will also spread the positive word of mouth to some other customers, that will also help in establishing the reputation or the goodwill of yours into the eyes of the customers and into that market in which you are basically surviving, in which you are offering to the service, and simultaneously they will help you out in adding or in bringing more and more customers to your service firm. So, these are basically the positive consequences if you are trying to retain your customer base for a longer time period. So, for attainment of this particular purpose, you should just adopt such practices of customer relationship management, so that the customer will be happy, customer will be satisfied, and they can be retained for a longer time period. And how it is possible? Because the CRM tool and software is having the database and their expected requirement, the customer's expected requirement. So, by keeping an eye or by going through the available database from time to time, the company can keep a check on the changing preferences or the expectation of the customers, and by keeping a pace with the changing expectation and the requirement of the customer, the company is somehow able to retain the customer base that has created or that has acquired in the first step. So, basically these are the phases or these are the steps followed in adopting customer relationship management in the firm basically. So, the next is types of CRM. How many types of CRM practices, or how many types of customer relationship management softwares and tools that can be adopted by the firm? So, the first one is strategic CRM, the second one is operational, the third is collaborative, and the fourth one is analytical CRM. Strategic CRM, the name itself means having a record of the information like the target customers and their expectation. Means strategic CRM is all about having a record of the prospects, so that you just keep an eye about you in identifying your target customers, and also to identify, analyze their expectations and the requirement, so that accordingly you can just offer the service as per the expectation or in order to match up the expectation of the customer. So, a strategic CRM is all about having a database which helps the company in identifying the target customers and also identifying in the offering that can be that can fulfill the expectation of the target customers. The second one is operational CRM. Operational CRM, the name itself refers means CRM is having database which can be useful in order to channelize or in order to operationalize the day to day activities or day to day transactions of the service firm. So, operational CRM is basically that type of CRM in which the daily basis information database or the transactional related database is being recorded or maintained by the firm. So, somehow it will help the firm in conducting the overall activities in a very smoother way. The next type of CRM is collaborative CRM. The name itself refers that the practices or the data is basically in a collective form. So, in this particular software or database, the data is basically whatever the data is stored, that can be used or that can be shared in by the multiple departments or the different departments of the firm. So, that they just do or they just perform the activities in a very coordinated way, so that the customer requirement can be fulfilled in a timely manner and the customer expectation can also be fulfilled by the practices of the service firm. So, collaborative CRM is all about having the data in a collective or collaborative form related to the overall functioning of the firm, and that can also be shared by the different department and each and every department of the firm, so that they just do and they just perform in a very coordinated manner, so that the firm is able to achieve the objective of maintaining the relationship with customers. The next one is analytical CRM. Analytical CRM, the name itself refers the available data is used in a very analytical manner in order to design the future sales or the future strategies, so that the customer relationship practices can be adopted in a very effective manner, so that the firm is able to win the trust of the customers and they just satisfy the customers and make them loyal for the firm. And what can be the consequences of these two outcomes? We all know very much this particular fact. So, analytical CRM is having the data for analyzing the future sales or the future course of action in order to maximize the sale or in order to maximize the customer base. So, these are basically the types of CRM which are or which can be used by the service firm in order to fulfill the purpose, and that purpose is obviously we all know very much, that is to maintain relationship with the customer, because customer is basically considered the king and customer are the market mover and the trendsetter. So, obviously the practices should be also focused towards maintaining or maintaining the relationship with them too, so that we can also keep a pace with the changing requirement or in the changing expectation of the customers in order to fulfill the objective. And the next is views of CRM. Basically the views of CRM like marketing automation, sales automation, service and service fulfillment, customer self service and e-commerce. E-commerce is basically somehow an additional or a modern view of CRM. Basically there are 4 views of CRM. In apart from e-commerce, there are the upper 4 are the views of CRM, like marketing automation is all about providing the right mix of the company's product and services in the front of each customer at the right time. Means whatever being a service firm, whatever the thing or whatever the offering you are making available to the customers, that must be available at right time, and right thing should be available to the customers. Right thing means the offering or the services that is matching up the expectation of the customers, that particular offering or that particular service must be available to the customers at the time of demand. Right time means at the time of demand, where the customer is asking about that particular service, at that time you are able to say that yes, we are providing you that level of service that you are expecting, and for that expectation you have come to us or come to our service organization. So, marketing automation is all about using the practices or the software or the database of the CRM. You just provide the right set of or the right set of or right mix of services in front of the customers at the right time. Means your practices should be like that, whatever the expectation the customer is bringing or representing in front of you, that expectation can be fulfilled or must be fulfilled at that particular time. That is all about marketing automation. And how it is possible? By going through or by having a check regularly on the database of CRM. The second one is sales automation. As we have seen in the earlier slide that types of CRM means CRM is having a software which keeps the record or maintain the record of your target customers as well as their expectations that they wish to experience or that they wish to experience in the future time period and they want basically. So, by having a check on this particular aspect, the company can offer the services as per the expectation of them, and by doing so the firm can also improve and increase their sales, and they can also and increasing sales is not like you are ignoring the customer expectation. By keeping or the pace or by matching the expectation of the customers, you just provide the service, and obviously if you are doing so, you are able to increase the sales, you are able to improve the sales that somehow hampering that get hampered due to the level of competition and due to other factors prevailing in the market. The next one is service and service fulfillment, because you are having a database of your target customers and their expectations. So, as per their expectation, by checking or by going through by updating the keeping record of the available database, you just know or you just understand what it is the requirement or what is the expectation of your target customer. So, accordingly you can customize your services and just provide the level of service that is expected by the customer. So, that is all about service fulfillment, means service just can be fulfilled or service delivery is fulfilled as per the expectation of the customer. Next is customer self service. The database that the company has, the company is also publishing or promoting that information or representing that information to the customer, so that if a customer wants to get that information from the available sources, he or she can get with a very ease. So, it is not required for a customer that the customer can go to the market or go to the service firm and accordingly gather information about the services. So, the service firm or the marketer should make available such database in an effective manner, so that whenever customer wants to gather or wants to get through the information about your services, he or she is able to get. So, that is obviously one of the important aspect of customer relationship. If the company is offering or the company is making available a ready-made database for the customers and he or she can access 24/7. So, obviously, it is a positive point or a positive action of yours that somehow generating trust among the customer, and the customer can just hold a positive perception or positive image of your service firm and your services too. And the next one is e-commerce. E-commerce is all about become a wider acceptance of the customer due to the forces available in the market and due to the scenario of the customer working scenario of the customers, that like they do not have a particular time to go to the store and purchase the things they can. So, e-commerce means the marketers or the service firm should make available the offerings at the convenient time of the customers. Means if a customer want to get the facilities of any want to get the services of any service firm anytime. So, with this particular aspect or with this particular practices, a customer can go through at any time. Like in banking sector, we are able to see that if we want to transfer, we want to pay out certain transaction, then we can do it at any time. So, e-commerce in that particular sense. And conclusion is what the CRM is a basically widely implemented strategy for managing a company's interaction with the customer, client and sales prospects. Means it is one of the practices that should be adopted by the firm in order to maintain the good in order to maintain a healthy relationship with the customer, in order to fulfill the objective of the firm. So, if you want to get more information, just go through the reference of these books and you will get more information. That is all in this particular video lecture. I hope you will like this. Thank you, students.